Test 49, Section 4, number 24. Most of the employees of the Compujack Corporation are computer programmers. Since most computer programmers receive excellent salaries from their employers, at least one Compujack employee must receive an excellent salary from Compujack. That would be true if Compujack employed most of the computer programmers in the world. But Compujack, even if they have 1,000 computer programmers, there might be 1,000,000 computer programmers in the world, and Compujack could absolutely screw every single one of them. I don't know that Compujack pays anybody anything. Which one of the following arguments exhibits a flawed pattern of reasoning most similar to the flawed pattern of reasoning exhibited by the argument above? I have a real clear objection here, which is great. If I don't have a clear objection, I would need to reread the argument, make sure I do have an objection before I go into these answer choices. You got to know what you're looking for, y'all. You're asked to match the flaw. If you're not mad about the argument, you are not in a position where you can match anything. People are going to fuck this question up every time by going in and just looking for like technicalities. That's doing the LSAT the hard way. We need to do the LSAT the easy way, which is to respond to the question, basically. They said match the flaw. What's the flaw? Well, the flaw is just because most computer programmers get good salaries doesn't mean that anybody in one particular company has to get a good salary. I mean, most baseball players are good, but if like most Major League Baseball players are good, but if you play for the Diamondbacks, maybe not. The Diamondbacks are garbage. Which one of the following arguments, exactly what I just said, by the way, would be a perfect answer. You know, most Major League Baseball players are super good at playing baseball. The Diamondbacks employ only Major League Baseball players, therefore there must be at least one Arizona Diamondback who's good. That could be a perfect answer because none of them have to be any good at all. Most gardeners are people with a great deal of patience. Since most of Molly's classmates are gardeners, at least one of Molly's classmates must be a person with a great deal of patience. Absolutely not, because Molly might go to the Arizona Diamondbacks of schools. I mean, she might go to a school of people, nothing but kids with behavior problems, or, sure, most gardeners must have patience, but any particular gardener doesn't have to. Most just means 51% or more, which means that there are 49% possible exceptions. A is perfect. B, most of Molly's classmates are gardeners. Since most gardeners are people with a great deal of patience, some of Molly's classmates could be people with a great deal of patience. That doesn't actually commit the flaw. That one just says, well, they could, which I can't really argue with that. Yeah, they could. I don't know. Anybody could anything. So it's just that one word there, could, instead of must, that eliminates B. Basically, B is not flawed. C, most gardeners are people with a great deal of patience. Since most of Molly's classmates are gardeners, at least one of Molly's classmates who is a gardener must be a person with a great deal of patience. That is flawed. But the problem with C is that it needed to say at least one of Molly's classmates is a person with a great deal of patience, rather than at least one of Molly's classmates who is a gardener must be a person with a great deal of patience. That's the problem. It's just a difference. I think C definitely does commit the same flaw, but we're going to not pick C on a technicality. In order to make C correct, the given argument would have to have said at least one Compujack employee who is a programmer must receive an excellent salary. This is really a kind of a stupid technical difference. This question is the difference between a 178 and a 179. Hopefully, it looks like, based on the results, most of you narrowed it down to A and C. And I think the bulk of you were able to correctly identify that it's A, which is great. If I were writing the LSAT, I would never write a question like this, because the flaw is the same in both A and C, and it's just that one stupid technicality that makes C wrong. They don't need to test stupid technicalities. There's too many other good ways to write questions. This is a dumb question. D, most gardeners are people with a great deal of patience. Since most of Molly's classmates who garden, it's already wrong, are women, now that's a new idea, at least one female classmate of Molly's must be a person with a great deal of patience. You know, I guess that also kind of does the same flaw again, but it just adds in the extra who thing. E, most of Molly's classmates are gardeners with a great deal of patience. I wouldn't need to read that one anymore, because that one just says these people are gardeners and patient, and from there you're not going to be able to make the same flaw. So the answer here is A.